Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big characters that a majority of Star Wars fans around the world are really looking forward to returning in Episode 9 is no other than the Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker, that will be portrayed by Mark Hamill once more in the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. So, what's really great about this movie is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is finally going to get the chance to experiment with the character of Luke. Now, it's quite funny because if you think about it, JJ really never got the chance to experiment with the character of Luke in Star Wars Episode 7. He got like maybe 1 minute's worth of screen time at most, between the little glimpse of him in the Force-back vision, and of course him on the world of Octu at the edge of the cliff, where Rey was handing him the lightsaber. Now, what's really great about this is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Mark Hamill's portrayal of Luke Skywalker. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing is that it's described that one of the scenes that Mark Hamill shot over in Cardington during the month of January involved a sequence in which he was placed in front of a green screen where a large X-Wing was seen in front of Hamill. Hamill was said to be dressed in his black Jedi robes, where he was climbing up a ladder and entering the cockpit to where the X-Wing set piece was being lifted by mechanics to emulate it lifting off for a single shot that would tie into Luke's arrival on Octu. Another sequence that Hamill shot involved him engaged in a training session with Kylo Ren being portrayed by Adam Driver, where both Hamill and Adam were clashing a green and blue lightsaber together in front of a large temple set piece. It's said to be a scene that shows Luke when he first realizes the darkness within Kylo Ren that Leia and Han warned him about. Hamill was also said to be in black Jedi robes at the time of fighting Ben Solo to train him to become a Jedi Knight. The scene is said to also involve a sequence in which Luke teaches Ben about the iconic Jedi weapon and its history, where Luke is said to be standing over Ben Solo as he finishes the construction of his lightsaber design. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, what's really intriguing to me about this movie is that it seems like that we are finally going to be getting a visual narrative, if you will, of what was told by Luke to Rey in The Last Jedi. So the three big things that were told by Luke in The Last Jedi to Rey was the training between himself and Ben Solo, his own nephew. The other thing is the slaughter of his new generation of Jedi. And of course, number 3, how Leia blames Snoke and all those other aspects of Luke Skywalker's past that will be told in this movie, visually speaking, which is great. So I want to go over the first piece that really stood out to me the most here is the moment in which Luke Skywalker is said to be hovering over Ben Solo as Ben Solo completes the basic, completion of his lightsaber design and putting it all back together again and really constructing his own saber as a way of training to become a Jedi Knight. Now, this will be the first time on the big screen that we do get to see a Skywalker putting a lightsaber together piece by piece, or at least finally finalizing it. Besides the deleted scene that we got from Return of the Jedi where Luke is tinkering with his saber in the Tatooine cave, we're going to be getting something very similar in a sense with Ben Solo completing his very own lightsaber. Now, by the way guys, if you do examine Ben Solo's lightsaber in The Last Jedi, you can see the similarities it has by design to the crossguard saber, which very well means that he switched that saber to the red one. He really modified it and was able to make the Kyber crystal bleed, just like what Darth Vader did with Karak and Phyllis. So the other piece that I do want to go over is, of course, the training session. Now, this is a new type of Jedi training that we have never seen before on the big screen that we heard about lightly, I would say 6 months ago. Now, what's interesting about this is that this is a training session between both uncle and nephew, Jedi and Jedi Padawan or Jedi trainee, whatever have you, right? Where both Luke and Ben are clashing their sabers together in front of the Jedi Temple, where the green saber is going up against the blue one. Now, this is a very interesting type of training. Now, we've only seen this in comics, novels, books, or graphic novels related to the Star Wars franchise, and other, things out there that we have seen before in canon material, where the characters do get to train against each other using lightsabers. However, on film, we have never seen something like this before in Star Wars film history, which is going to be a very new and different angle to Jedi training, which really is going to test one's aim and really test one's, I guess you could say, how they're able to go into a lightsaber fight and how they're able to hold up against another person. So the last piece, of course, that really is very impressive to me personally is how we have Luke Skywalker entering his X-Wing and leaving this unknown world that is the location of his Jedi Temple, which is going to connect to his arrival on Ahch-To. So these flashbacks, I think, are great. I don't know about you guys, but there are mixed reactions on flashbacks and if it's a good or a bad thing. I think that to a certain extent, this is going to be a very healthy thing for the character of Luke because it tells the stories between the events of the originals and the sequels. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No, I'm not the one. From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.